And the floor is yours.
Distinguished members of the Ambrisoli family, ladies and gentlemen, it is my great honor to receive this award, which bears the name of Giorgio Ambrisoli, a man whose example reminds us that integrity is not an abstract virtue, but a concrete decision, not to give in to pressure, not to remain silent when the law is violated, and to defend the public interest even when the price is very high. I do not see this recognition as mine alone. It is first and foremost a recognition of the work of my organization, MANS, and of all my colleagues who have believed for many years that the fight for the rule of law, accountability, and the public interest is never in vain. I share it especially with my closest collaborator, Dejan Milovac, with whom I have gone through some of the most difficult and important moments of this work. I come from the Balkans, from a region where corruption and organized crime are not abstract terms, but forces that too often shape people's everyday lives. They determine who gets a job, who has access to justice, who can rely on institutions to protect their basic rights, and who is left without a fair chance at a normal life. That is why I also see this award as a message to the citizens of Montenegro and our region: do not accept the idea that everything has already been lost, that nothing can be changed, or that silence is the way to survive. Change does not always begin with great victories. Sometimes it begins with one question, one document, one refusal to be blackmailed, one decision not to look away and not to stay silent in the face of injustice. The fight against corruption and organized crime is not only the job of prosecutors and the police. It is a fight for a normal life, for schools where knowledge matters more than connections, for jobs earned through ability, not political or criminal loyalty, for institutions that protect citizens, not the powerful, for a society in which courage is not punished but respected. At this moment, this award also carries a special personal meaning to me. As I recover from treatment and gradually return to my professional responsibilities, it gives me additional encouragement to persist in the fight for the values I believe in. That fight can only be successful if there are people who continue when it is difficult, when it is dangerous, and when it would be much easier to give up and leave than to stay and fight. That is why I dedicate this award to all those who, in Montenegro, in the Balkans and beyond, often without protection and without recognition, stand up to corruption, organized crime, and the abuse of power. I dedicate it especially to young people who are being forced to decide whether to leave their country because they see no future, to remain silent, or to fight for change. My message to them is simple. Your future must not be stolen by corruption and organized crime. It belongs to you. It is worth fighting for. Thank you.